Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Those boobs scare me. Oh, I feel your family stopped over.
He's got cheese in the middle. Hey, Jagoff driving 50 miles an hour.
I'm gonna
yeah.
ask you guys just one last time.
We used to loaf down Mario's and Blue Lou's till my wife got kicked out for sliding down
All
that
right,
fireman.
kids, welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales.
Tell your dad to leave me alone.
I am Phil, and again, this will be the first episode of the new year, so I am Phil. Joining me, as always, the Defender Biscuit himself. It is
Justin the Owl, defender of Bambi's mom.
And of course, we couldn't have a Steve Gerber episode without number one fan of the socialist rant himself. It is Mr. Knol Tate.
The late, great Noel Tate.
Oh,
Did.
You're supposed to put a gun ban around it.
My grandma used to live next door in Martin Cove. Yin's beating 3:45 down at the Kaufman's clock.
Yins.
Yins, yes.
Love it.
Did you know how to speak plural? Yeah, Yins.
Yins all read this comic book.
All right. Oh, Russell's already there.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Russell.
Thank you, Russell. Right before we jump on, we're like, is Russell going to be there with the O-ring comment? There we go.
The first comment of the new year.
Yes. What O-ring? What figure is that? Is that a Cobra figure, Russell?
You can slather up my Cobra.
All right. So yes, we did invite Knol because yes, we are going to be talking. Well, all month we're going to be talking Defenders, but this time we're going to be talking the Steve Gerber written Defenders 31 through 33, featuring the Headmen. This was one of the Justin picks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love the Headmen, and I love Steve Gerber, and I love the craziness that happens in these 3 issues with the deer and with the elf with the gun stuff. Like,
and I love Bambi.
This is some prime Steve Gerber Defender stuff right here.
It really is. I cannot wait to talk about this.
And I'm sure if anyone has listened to Trapped in the World and Howard the Duck podcast, they know these thoughts. But Knol, why do you love Steve Gerber so much?
Because he's punk rock before such a thing as punk rock. Probably the first punk rock comic book writer, I would have to say. And that's just an attitude, not his dude didn't have a mohawk or anything. Right. But yeah, like just did not give a flying F, you know. He was really smart, but also just would, you know, 2 fingers to the powers that be. He loved Marvel comics, but even more than that, he loved just taking the piss out of them, I think.
No, any man who could write the Hell Cow.
Well, the Hell Cow. Yeah.
It shows in these, like, they're so serious until they're not, you know? It's so great. He just had a lot of fun. And I think he was like the first person in comics who just seemed to have a heck of a lot of fun writing them.
Yeah. Didn't take it so seriously. Yeah.
No, obviously not. The way he treats the Hulk proves that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Well, here, let's jump into this because I'll do the synopsis for these. All right. Oh, the whole thing with Nighthawk. That's.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Oh,
Nighthawk's brain.
Nighthawk.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one of the issues that is literally, it's not covered. No, this is the first one. It's Nighthawk's brain.
Yeah, that's the title of the first one.
The first issue. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Hit us up, Phil.
All right. The first one is Defenders 31 from January 1976. Yes, Nighthawk's brain. And as we said, writer Steve Gerber, penciler Sal Buscema. So you know an MF was getting right across the room, you know?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Inker Jim Mooney, colorist Petra Goldberg, letterer Ray Holloway, and editor Marv Wolfman. Haunted by a past relationship that ended in disaster, Nighthawk finds himself distracted enough to be captured by the Headmen, who plan to transplant the brain of Chandu the Mystic into Nighthawk's body. Elsewhere, Hulk saves a baby deer from some hunters and names it Bambi and takes it back to Doctor Strange's sanctum. Along the way, the Hulk runs into Chondu, who's now in Nighthawk's body, and convinces the Hulk to show him the way to Strange's sanctum. There, Nighthawk, quote unquote, attacks the defenders with a mystic onslaught. However, in a magic battle in the astral plane, Doctor Strange is able to best Nighthawk, swiftly defeating him in battle. Unmasking Nighthawk, they are shocked to see that the face underneath the cowl is not one of an imposter, but of Nighthawk himself. And I get the Headmen probably aren't the deepest thinkers, but I'm like, you really think you're gonna beat Doctor Strange in a magic battle?
Yeah.
Chondu the Mystic.
Chondu the Mystic going up against Doctor Strange.
Probably
Now,
not.
Dr. Druid, maybe.
He's probably like one step up from like a Vegas like magic act, and he thinks he's gonna beat Doctor Strange.
Well, no, he's literally like they remember she sees him, they see him. Later, Valkyrie talks and her boyfriend talk about how they saw him at like a carnival or
Yeah.
Yeah, a sideshow or something. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly what he is. It's really funny.
Going up against Doctor Strange in his own sanctum sanctorum.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I just love how Doctor Strange is like, this is way easier than I thought it was.
Yeah. I mean, this guy needs to be getting punched. I mean, at a carnival, this guy needs to be getting punched in the face by Johnny Blaze, not the Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Yes, yeah, it's just plain Johnny Blaze. Yeah,
Johnny Blaze's boot.
Yep. Or a right cross since Sal Buscema.
Yeah, it is Sal.
Yeah.
The Hulk does a good right cross, stealing that guy's shotgun away from him.
Oh, I love that.
Does he? I think Hulk kills these guys for shooting.
It almost looks
Bambi's
like he does because he hurls that guy, which made me laugh out loud every time I read this part.
head
he
first into a tree, and it says,
He skipped him along the lake like
him
a
across
rock,
like
and
it's a rock across
and
the
it says
surface of the water.
crack.
Yeah,
There's
crack.
no way he
Crack.
survived that. There's no way.
And then the other dude has his shotgun wrapped around his neck, and he's writhing around on the ground in agony as the Hulk leaps away.
Yeah, so Hulk skipped one guy across a lake into a tree, snapped his neck, and then strangled the other guy with his own shotgun. Cool
Slowly
hero, man.
choked him out like,
While crying, holding a baby deer.
Hulk can't be Bambi's mother, but Hulk will be Bambi's friend. Take care of Bambi.
So am I to
Holy.
assume that Gerber was against hunting?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, Gerber's one
maybe
of those guys who's
for-
like, tell me something to be against and I'll be against it. You know?
well, I think because they make the comment, I ain't too crazy about the taste myself. I'm a beef man. I think he was
so
more
now
like
he's gonna
making
eat it. Yeah.
the comment about, and plus there was a sign that said game reserved, no hunting.
Mhm.
So maybe he was making a comment about, just guys being jerks and poaching and being
And just
disrespectful.
killing,
Just for the
deer.
sake of it. Yeah. Just
Mhm.
killing wantonly for the sake of it, just because they can.
Yeah, as much as Gerber would write in a punch into a comic, he was also like really extremely like anti-violence, which is really weird.
Yeah.
There's many Howard the Duck ones where he would just like talk about how pointless it was, even while he was having Howard learn quack fu and kick someone's butt.
Quack fu. Yeah.
That whole issue is an anti-violence issue.
Yeah.
Or at least about the exploitation of violence, I guess,
Mhm.
would be his thing.
Right.
Which is like comics #1 bag. So I don't know.
It's funny. Yeah. He was writing
Mhm.
superhero comic books with that sentiment. I love it.
Well, even like those first couple pages, I mean, that dream or hallucination or whatever Nighthawk's had. I mean, that's like Gerber, like pure Gerber there, right? Just like
Totally.
tree and
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All the weird imagery with the woman on the beach and the stuff, the tidal wave coming up. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and that synopsis, did it even say it all, or did it quickly skip over the best part of this entire issue?
I don't think it mentioned it at all, actually.
about the brain, yeah. I mean, all it said.
No. The elf with the
strange-
gun.
Oh yeah,
strange-
no, it didn't say anything about the elf. Yeah,
Strange interlude, the strip in Las Vegas, garish monument to the abstract middle age, where Sammy Davis Jr. is still considered quote unquote with it, and where quote unquote with it is still considered current slang. Where bald men wear beer guts from Oklahoma vacation for a taste of the swinging life.
Swinging life. Charles
The
Wizzo
Oklahoma
Lester.
Charles Wizzo Lester.
Speaking of the Vegas swinging life, if you want to send any birthday presents, a little Hellfire, yes, forward them to Las Vegas right now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, she could maybe use an elf with a gun.
You ever
Hey,
seen?
hey,
you ever seen
hey,
a body-
driver, where are you doing? Where are you going? What are we stopping for? This alley?
Hey you.
Hey, you. Oh my God, Charles, he's dead. No, he's 8.
The head
It's
just
a-
pops off.
It's a dummy.
I know it's got a whole person suit.
It's
I
got
know.
like a mechanism. It's boing.
Because there's no
big-
such thing as little people in the world or nothing. It's just
This big elaborate disguise just so we can kill these 2 random people in the back
Oh,
of a
Charles,
cab.
hold me. I think I'm going to faint. Or maybe I already have. It's an elf, isn't it? It's a little man. It's an elf. I don't know what it is. It's goodbye, Charles. Blam.
And that's it. That's the end of that little subplot.
Steve Gerber's greatest creation is an elf with a gun.
And we should comment that this subplot never gets resolved.
No.
This elf reappears throughout a few different issues of the
Mhm.
Defenders around this era.
Unlike
is
Bambi,
never
which actually
resolved.
does. That subplot does get resolved.
so wait. Does Gerber like leave the book or something without resolving that elf thing? So
Yeah.
Yep.
So we don't know what the hell's going on with that elf.
Yeah. It's never resolved.
Not really. I mean, later writers sort of tried to resolve it, but I think even JMG
Oh, was it JM?
tried to do it. Because people kept on writing in, what the hell, man?
What happened to the elf? What was that all about?
There's a great letter in one of these issues. It's like, Dear Dr. Strange and Company, will you please hurry up and get back to 1976? Because there's an elf running around killing Tom and
Killing
Linda's,
people. Yeah.
and no other superhero is going to stop him because he's in your comic and nobody else can get into it.
It's trapped in the pages of the Defenders.
And they basically write back like, what? You don't like elves, asshole?
Nice.
It's so funny.
Oh, I could just picture them trying to contact Steve Gerber after he left the title and be like, so what was the deal with the elf with the gun? And him just telling them to pound sand or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's going to be about the economy. Santa laid off his elf. Now he's disgruntled.
That's right.
But like, it's so good. And then getting back to like all of Gerber's like long prose about what's happening, describe it's so well written and so serious. And then it goes back from the elf and the gun, like the whole Doctor Strange trying to figure out what's going on with Nighthawk is so fun. And like that, some of his art is great. There's like when Strange is like going into it, like just try to see into his soul or whatever, and like Nighthawk just screaming and getting like a psychic blast in his head. It's like, this is so good, but
I love it.
It's hard to take any of it seriously at all. Hulk doesn't understand. If Bird Nose is Bird Nose, then why?
Then why? Yeah. Yeah. I love the fact that Hulk calls him Bird Nose.
Oh, yeah, he's got names for it. Steve Gerber's depiction of the Hulk is my favorite.
Oh, really? Yeah, yeah.
It's just so stupid.
It really is fantastic.
It's just all the images of Hulk leaping through the city with this deer in his arms.
With a deer.
Walking in Doctor Strange's house with this baby deer. Like,
I know, and all these like serious photos of like all the Defenders together, and there's like all like, you know, all this great Doctor Strange dialogue, and there's just Hulk holding a deer.
Just randomly this deer.
Well, do you know why Elf with the Gun and like the deer, why these things happened? Is because Sal Buscema was bored of drawing superhero comics and was talking to Gerber about it.
Yeah.
And Gerber was just like, sure, I'll write some weird stuff whenever you want, man.
I love it.
And Buscema was like, thank you. I get to draw Hulk holding a Bambi.
I get to draw deer and elves and
have an elf assassinate annoying people.
I was just waiting for Hulk to change back the banner, and he's holding the baby deer and go, well, Hulk, what the F were you doing? You know?
Yeah, the banner's like, what? Why am I covered with deer poop?
So good.
It's so funny. I love it.
But yeah, for further thoughts on this, yeah, because they take down Nighthawk. Yeah, they were.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick resolution. Yeah, because as we said, Chandu the Mystic, isn't it? isn't any threat to Doctor Strange, or at least
No.
shouldn't be.
None
Maybe
of the head-
Dr. Druid, he could give him a
Yeah.
run for his money, but not
I mean,
Dr.
it's pretty classic Gerber too, just to wrap something up real quick. He goes on and on. He's like, "Oh no, I only have 2 pages left."
A big build up, and then it's over in 1 page.
Mm-hmm.
I love the end of the issue. Doctor Strange is like, "Oh my god, it's the real Nighthawk." He's like, what do you say? I lose the full potency of my spells on him. So it's like, oh, if this had just been a supervillain, yeah, I would have effed him mother.
Right.
Yeah,
I
I
would
would've
have blasted
screwed-
the soul out of his body.
Yeah, never to return.
Yeah.
It is Kyle Richmond. Yep. It's good. Yeah,
And I
don't
love
have
how
much else
there's
to
no
say.
scar whatsoever of them removing his brain.
Oh yeah, the hair, the full head of hair. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. There's no
mean,
mark of an incision or
If
anything.
you look at the penultimate panel, actually, though, maybe it's just my copy, but it looks like there's some dots along Kyle's forehead.
Oh, really? Okay. Maybe I just
But I was like, maybe it's sweat. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, there is. Yeah.
Do you see? Like, there's some
Okay.
dots, like some Frankenstein.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Justin, because they are still pretty small marks for having had his freaking brain removed. But yeah, I guess those little tiny are supposed
Okay, yes.
but it's hard to see if you don't like.
Yeah,
really,
Yeah, exactly. But not to mention the fact that like this is some stupid science, you know.
Yeah.
You can't I mean, they have Kyle's brain just sitting in
In a jar.
in like a bowl.
with
sloshing around.
no cover or anything, with nothing.
They should have just said magic. It's Chaundy. They should have just been like, oh
Yeah.
he like magic.
No, but it's all about what's his
Swap
name?
the consciousness.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all about what's his name, Dr. Negan, is that it?
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
The monkey man. It's all about
With
his
the monkey body, yeah.
The Hank
it's all about
McCoy
his science.
cosplayer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hank McCoy without a head.
Right.
Yeah.
As Gerber is like, I could have just transferred consciousnesses, but no, I would rip his whole brain out of his head.
And
Oh,
then leave it in the jar, leave it in a bowl, just sitting on
sloshing
a desk
around in a
somewhere.
little formaldehyde.
He would have a lid on it. It was just like, oh yeah,
I know.
sit there and-
It's so funny.
basically sitting there in the dog's water bowl, just
Yeah. It's just hilarious, like 1950s sci-fi, like
It really
some
is.
B movie style.
The Headmen are like total like 1950s B movie characters.
Yeah. Well, they were originally based on some like old ass timely comic characters, was it?
Oh,
I think
really?
all of at least the 3 main ones before Ruby Tuesday. I think the 3 of them were all based on some old.
Oh, no kidding.
I was reading something about that somewhere. Yeah.
Then I guess John Byrne must have fell in love with them because he did that issue, Sensational She-Hulk, and then he all of that Web of Spider-Man issue. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Well, John Byrne was all about ripping off Steve Gerber anyway.
He was a fan of Steve, yeah. And that was my introduction to Headmen, was that She-Hulk story.
Mine too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have a lot of these. I wouldn't back when I was a kid, there was a comic shop that opened up pretty close to me. And so I would get that's where I got a lot of my Howard the Ducks in like, quarter bins or whatever. They were 10-cent bins.
Oh, yeah.
They were when I was a kid. So I got a lot of random Defenders issues, but these were very serialized, especially when Gerber was writing them. So I would always be like, what the heck's going on? I don't know.
I missed an issue. Now I'm behind.
Son of Satan's in here for 1 second for some reason. That's cool. I like Son of Satan. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Oh yeah. All right. Let me do the synopsis for 2. Yeah, that whole Son of Satan thing. That they got kind of. I was like, wait, all right, really?
That's just another classic Gerber thing. It's like if he's writing a character, he was writing the Son of Satan book too.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's
At the
like
same time, yes.
Yeah,
free advertising. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he just loved to throw any character he was working in and make him cross over. Like that was like his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
why didn't we see Howard wrestle in that elf then?
Well, we do see Howard in a Defenders book later. So
yeah, maybe eventually he was going to work his way up to that. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next issue, Defenders 32 from February 1976. Same team. Musical Minds.
Yeah, they cross out chairs and wrote minds.
Yes. Calling in Son of Satan to use his powers to see if Cal Richmond's body has been possessed by a demon, who informs them the change in Nighthawk's personality is not due to a demonic possession. Using the Eye of Agamotto, Dr. Strange learned that Cal's brain had been switched with that of Chandu the Mystic. While at the Headmen's headquarters, Negan and Morgan fight over what to do with Nighthawk's removed brain. When Morgan asks what they should do if the Defenders track them down, Negan introduces the Headmen's newest member, Ruby Thursday. Back at Doctor Strange's sanctum, Strange uses the Orb of Agamotto to search for Cal, viewing Cal's perceptions around him. Strange deduces that what happened was the result of a brain transplant, not magic. And so, transferring Jack Norris's mind into Nighthawk's body, the Defenders rush out to rescue their friend. While inside Nighthawk's brain, Nighthawk is forced to relive his life and is guided through it by death. Reliving his childhood, where he was cared after by a caregiver, his mother's death, being sent off to private school as a child and being laughed at for crying, how in his youth he got through high school because he was rich, the conflicts with his father, his relationship with Mindy, his car accident, and being expelled from college. Finally, being rejected from the draft due to a heart murmur, his father dying in a plane crash, and finally the events that led to him becoming Nighthawk and eventually joining the Defenders and his guild over Trish Starr, losing an arm because of him. In the real world, the Defenders have managed to track the location of the Headmen's headquarters. However, upon their arrival, they are taken by surprise by Ruby Thursday, whose detonating head knocks them all out. All right, thoughts. Okay, my one thought. Now that you mentioned the Gerber thing, okay, now I see why Son of Satan is here. But I'm like, why didn't Doctor Strange just go to the Eye of Agamotto and be like, okay, what's wrong? Let me just open up the eye and
do that first. Yeah,
because we got to have a cameo with Son of Satan. That's why.
Right, yeah.
It's only a page or two.
Yeah,
I love when he finally reveals that it's Chandu in there. That panel is amazing.
Oh, with the Hulk, he's like
Hulk like leering over the top of him.
Yeah.
Huh? Bird Nose has new face. Hulk doesn't like this face. Face is ugly. Hulk can tell face hates Hulk. And it's just Chandu going like,
he's just glaring, yeah. Hulk can tell face hates Hulk. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much.
This is insane, Doc. Val and I know that face, and that's what he talks about. How they saw
The
him.
Vermont State Fair, yeah.
It's
That's
so good.
funny. Yeah, and Ruby.
Ruby
what a
Thursday.
great character Ruby Thursday is. I mean,
So bizarre, like a
fantastic.
Yeah, like a sexy woman with a weird bulb for a head.
This plastic ball that she can change into anything she wants to.
Yeah, it's cool powers. I think it's very bizarre.
is that like Gerber's like commentary on just like, oh, it's a hot girl. Does she don't have a head? Oh, I didn't notice. I was looking at the body. No, she's
well, yeah.
My eyes are up here.
The fact that her head is plastic, I think, is pretty. Yeah, that's a tell right there.
A living Barbie doll. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. I just like when she touches the other doctor's face and just melts into his face.
Turns into his face. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Morgan.
And she's like walking around with her sexy body and his like melted face. Because what happened to him is like his whole face is expanded, but then his bones went back to normal, but his skin didn't.
Yeah, I think his bones shrunk, right?
Pim particles or something. Yeah.
It was like reverse Pim particles, and his bones shrunk, but his skin remained the same.
So gross.
It really is.
And right before she walks in, Negan just like kind of like reaching in and playing with Nighthawk's brain, just like,
oh yeah, it would be so easy just to give it a little squeeze,
like Play-Doh or something. He's like, here you go.
Wasn't there a Futurama plot too where they like switched brains and it became really convoluted because they kept on having all the characters were switching brains and switching brains.
I think
and
so.
switching brains.
Yeah,
They didn't know whose brain was
that
in
sounds
what.
familiar.
I was like, when I was reading this, I was like, oh my god, it's just like Futurama ripped that off. That's really funny. Doctor Strange puts. Well, I guess we find out the next issue about that stuff. But what do you guys think about the whole backstory, the secret history of Nighthawk?
Oh, that was very Steve Gerber too. The whole sequence of him being a kid wearing the Nighthawk uniform, and yeah, definitely.
I like how he's got the Nighthawk uniform through the entire thing, even like when everyone else is like in their underwear when he's trying to get into the army, and he's still wearing his Nighthawk uniform.
Yeah,
and then he's got it's revealed he has a heart murmur. It's like
that's pretty random, right?
Mm-hmm. And so like it's he spends his whole life trying to like cure himself from this heart murmur. Oh, it's so funny. And he's just like, and then I was the villain, but then I decided to be hero. Anyway, the end.
Anyway, yeah, I like that we got that little panel with his original costume, his original Nighthawk costume when he fought Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil slapped some sense into me.
What issue was that? I was trying to remember when that happened in Daredevil. Do you remember offhand, Phil?
It was like, yeah, I believe it was like 58, maybe.
It was in the 50s.
Somewhere
Okay,
in the 50s. Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
So when that would have been early, like late 60s? Is in the
Uh,
year, like late 1960s, early 70s?
Here, I'm gonna look this up.
When did the Squadron Supreme like happen? Or Squadron Sinister, I should say.
I think that was late 60s. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because they wanted the Avengers to fight the Justice League, quote unquote. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah, well, all of that stuff I thought was pretty funny. It is very Gerber to give up. Like, it's like most of the comic.
Yeah.
Whole background to Nighthawk, and it's like I guess maybe they never covered that before, ever.
I don't know. I was trying to think actually how long Nighthawk had been a member of the team up to this point. And I think it had been a while, right? I mean, he wasn't like a brand new member.
No, it had been at least at least 6 issues, if not way more than that. So
yeah.
Well, let's see. How many issues was it with the original Defenders before like Silver Surfer left, and I think Strange had already quit and come back at this point. So it had been a while for sure that Nighthawk had been up. I like the panel. Like, shut up, old man. There's a big right hook.
Oh, Buscema, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, he showed up in Daredevil 62, March 1970.
Oh, okay. Was that Steve Gerber writing that?
That was Roy Thomas.
It was Roy. Okay.
Yeah. I think Gerber wasn't on Daredevil for very long, was he?
I don't think.
Less than 10 issues, I believe.
Oh, was it that short of it? Oh.
Yeah.
For some reason, I always thought he was on there longer.
I mean, it could be slightly more, but I'm not exactly sure.
I think they shuffled him around a lot in those days, didn't they? From title to title, they moved him around a bit.
Yeah, he did a lot of cleanup for Roy Thomas. Those two were, I mean, that's how he got his job at Marvel, was through Roy Thomas. And so I think Roy would be like, oh, I just can't do this. He's like, I'll do it. I'll take it. Whatever you got.
Somebody to take over this book.
Mm-hmm.
His first appearance, pay attention, Lilith, Avengers 69 from August 1969.
Oh, my. Double 69.
I prefer a single one.
That's good.
It's too many dicks flapping around for my taste.
That's what I always wanted in the man. Mushroom stamps aplenty.
Wow.
We're just trying to get some drops in. We've been pretty mellow so far, Phil.
That escalated quickly.
Went on the same brain wave path. They're like, we need to give this guy some drops.
I've heard many requests for more Knol Tate drops. So
yes, we need more Knol drops. I was surprised at the end of this issue, though, how easy it was for Ruby to take out all of them: the Hulk, Doctor Strange, Nighthawk, and Valkyrie. That part is always still surprising to me. Just
she's new.
One explosion lays them all out.
She is,
That's true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they don't even explain in this issue that how Nighthawk's walking around, because it's not Chandu.
Right. They talk about that in the next issue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We find out where Chandu went.
Plot device.
It still makes me laugh.
It's so goofy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can hear Hulk now. Now ugly face over there. All right. Here, I'll do the third one, and then we can talk this whole thing out. All right. Defenders number 33, March 1976. Webbed Hands, Warm Heart.
This cover is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Webbed Hands.
And the first splash,
the
first splash page is amazing too. Webbed Hands.
The picture of the deer.
When I opened this up to read it, but I sat here and laughed to myself for like a full straight minute. I was like, "What the hell?"
I might fall out of my chair while we do this issue, just because of the deer.
Luscious brown eyes gaze into the orb of Agamotto. In the flash and fury's anger, lips roll back, creating teeth and fawn snarls. The Defenders, Valkyrie, the Hulk, and Doctor Strange have found victim to the macabre of the Headmen. But all is not what it seems, and the baby deer knows it.
Gerber just telling Sal, well, you wanted some crazy crap to read. I gave you
Yeah, here's an angry baby deer for you.
Evil baby deer, do it. All right. As the Defenders are being prepared for a mind alteration by the Headmen, Chandu, with his mind now trapped in the body of the Hulk's pet deer Bambi, tries to break free from Doctor Strange's sanctum to warn the other Headmen of the Defenders' deception. But as he smashes out a window, he is captured by a strange lizard-like creature.
Yo, what the hell? What the hell?
I know. Meanwhile, at the Headmen's secret headquarters, the Headmen prepare their experiment. Jack Norris, in Nighthawk's body, whom the Headmen think is still under the control of Chandu, manages to free the Defenders, and they begin to battle the Headmen. In the confusion, Jack manages to retrieve Nighthawk's brain, and while making his escape, is captured by the same alien ship and lizard creatures that have captured many others, including Bambi and Bambi Chandu. The leader of these lizards is revealed to be none other than Nebulon, who calls the lizards his followers, the Ludberdites. All right.
Okay.
If anyone wants to, yeah.
Wow.
In disgust, the animal turns away from the mystic crystal, desperation clutching at its tiny heart.
It looks so mad.
Livid furrow brow.
The plot was conceived so perfectly, and yet his allies have been duped. Livid, furrowed brow pulsing, the ache of savage loathing. The deer recalls the sequence of events in which led him to this state, and then they just, recap everything for so many pages.
Yeah, everything that been going on up to this point, and then the stuff that happened that we didn't see, where
the panel with Doctor Strange is switching their brains,
switching the brain,
and this mystic stuff going into the deer's head.
All right, this next comment is there's no other purpose than to try to knock Justin out of the chair. I heard angry Bambi. I thought that we were going to be talking about a middle-aged stripper.
I thought that was your mom's name, Phil.
Oh, how dare you!
The forehead is so red right now.
The sequence with the deer trying to get out and trying to mess with the doorknob with his mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad you could tear yourself away from your hobby to join us, Knol.
He's cradling my nuts.
Oh, you're still mad about that? We've moved on, Phil. It shouldn't take you that long to find it dropped.
I love that so much. And then this random stuff with these like mutant creatures that kidnap this random couple that are taking a canoe ride in the middle of Central Park.
At first, I was like, before I saw the red hands reach out of the water, I was like, wait a second, was there an alpha gun one that I missed?
Oh yeah, yeah. It is a setup. It could have been Elf with a gun with some random couple, but instead, no, it's these weird Ludberlites or whatever they are, kidnapping people and deer and everything else.
Yeah, so it's like we've started a new subplot here. Meanwhile, the elf's just doing God knows what in Vegas or wherever he's at.
Yeah,
I think next he goes out in the desert and in somewhere and pretends to be an ancient Indian chief.
That's right. Yes, there's the guy that's like backpacking through the desert or something.
And he's like, "Oh, teach me your wisdom." Wait a second. Are you an ancient chief? And he goes, "I am what I am."
I am what I am, he says.
And then he
Just
pops
shoots him.
out of the Native American's body and shoots him. So weird.
So random.
Very random. I mean,
No rhyme or reason.
like there isn't enough
It's even worse when
randomness
they
in
don't
this
explain
issue.
it.
No, that's what just makes it better. Sometimes life, all the answers cannot, all the questions cannot be answered in life. So,
And that will be one of the great questions. What was the elf? Yeah,
it is chaos.
I love the page where we get the different headmen, the different kind of portraits of the headmen. You've got Dr. Negan, and then the other dude, and then Ruby.
Well,
And
how
they
about
kind of are.
when Ruby's got it in for Nighthawk, and she makes her head into a pair of lips. And kisses him.
Please accept this expression of my wish that we grow to become close associates.
Oh, yuck.
Oh my lord! The elf with the gun has a entry in the Marvel database.
Oh, of course.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a big deal, man. People were really like angry about it, like actually pissed off about it.
The elf with the gun was an entity of unknown origin who used a variety of bizarre disguises to murder seemingly random people for no apparent reason over a period of several months. His paths almost crossed that of the Defenders a few times, but they never actually met him or learned of his activities.
Yeah, Hulk almost one time runs into him.
Almost,
yeah. And then she shoots a woman in a bathroom. He shoots a woman in a bathroom.
He was first seen in a trailer park in California where he knocked on the door of Tom and Linda Pritchett and presumably killed them both.
Yeah.
Then the Las Vegas.
There were a couple folk singers.
Yes. And then he did the Las Vegas killings, and then disguised as a Native American shaman, killing a couple named Sally and Stu, and finally killing an unnamed female protester in a bathroom.
Yeah, they're protesting a porno theater. And Hulk had like wrecked part of the city, and he was like, "Why are these people here protesting? What is going on?" And he leaps into the bathroom or something, right? And like talked to the woman, and then took off. And then as soon as the Hulk took off, Elf with the gun showed up and shot her. And then there's like a boy he's gonna kill. I think that's the last one.
Oh,
but the Defenders like scare him off or something by accident.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was posthumously revealed to be Melf.
Yeah,
Melf,
the elf with the gun. Yeah, and they brought. I think it was Russ who found out that Steve Gerber had brought him into a DC comic.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Countdown to Mystery number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Supposed to be well, it says it's a tribute to Steve Gerber. So.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute, he met Kiss?
Elf with the gun, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I never read that one.
It says Marvel Comics Super Special number 5. Yeah, supposedly.
Number 5, okay.
Oh my word.
I only had number 1.
So
which we covered on Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast. The panel.
You know how duck penises work, right?
Yes, they're corkscrews. So when the deer busts out and it says freedom.
Yeah.
I'm a mystic, right? I need to have the journal where my soul leads me. I can't be restrained. Hawk. And this weird ass creature has just got the deer, and the look on its face is like, ah!
What is going on?
Which is exactly what the reader is thinking too.
Exactly.
What the hell is going on?
What the hell is happening?
And
I
then
love it so much.
Shows up with the rest of them in the.
And it looks like a giraffe in the background.
Yeah, there's all kinds. It's got a giraffe.
So funny.
It looks like Aunt May's there. Kids, some dude. It looks like Jack Kirby in a suit. All kinds of weirdos. It's pretty fucking. It's so funny.
And then the part that I couldn't understand was why during the fight with the Headmen, the Hulk's about to do some damage, and then Doctor Strange's like, Hulk, no! And then he puts some manacles on his hands.
Yeah, he doesn't want him to hurt Doctor Strange, like doesn't want him to kill him. And Hulk's like, I'm gonna kill these guys. And so yeah, he puts, like whatever, like the amulets of Ranzandu on him or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I
Hulk,
get that.
why does magician stop Hulk hands? Why? Because we came to this place for a reason, Emerald wanted. When we came in peace. So Doctor Strange is, I don't know, under Gerber, he was a little strange. I think it's like it seemed like he was trying to make him kind of like
violence is the less.
Yeah, and just much more like magic is the real thing. But there are times in Gerber's Defender sometimes where Doctor Strange kind of snaps and just goes, fuck it, and like, And he's just like, I don't care anymore. Just go get him.
To the edge, though. He has to be pushed to the edge to really reach that point, right?
Yeah. Which I kind of like that idea for Doctor Strange, of where he's just,
By the time they even stop the Hulk, he's like, wait a minute, so what? My hands are in these things. He's like, I'll use both hands. The Hulk used both hands.
That's
he smashes the house so hard the whole place falls down.
Yeah, and Doctor Strange should have known that. He's been like, oh, even if I put these clamps on his hands, it's not going to do anything. He's still going to stomp the hell out of this place. And what's even funnier is that it's mentioned that this is the second time that the Hulk's destroyed this particular house.
Yeah.
Says, Greenskin wrecked this man's house back in Defenders number 21. The guy's like, he's done it again from the inside out.
How horrible, George. How can you laugh? Poor Dr. Negan was in there. Yeah. Call the cops, call the ambulance, and tell him, be sure and tell him I was in our house this time.
Hulk wrecked house and insurance premiums.
That's just a classic Gerber thing, a little quick cutaway joke for no reason.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It was so random and so funny.
Yeah, but Doctor Strange put like an orb of safety around them or whatever. So they're all okay.
Shield. And then mad dash for Nighthawk's brain in the bowl.
And like they all get caught up in Ruby Thursday's goop. Gross. Sploosh. It's a sploog. Yeah. And who is Nebulon the Celestial Man? I have no idea who this character is. Do you guys know?
Oh, he was dead as far as I know. He died a while back, and I don't think he's been brought back.
As soon as I saw this, I was like, Justin will know exactly who this character is.
Yeah, he was definitely a 70s villain. He might have even been around in the 60s a little bit, but I can't remember where he first popped up. But
Defenders number 13.
Yes, okay. I was like, Phil's going to be on it. Okay, so like a couple of years ago for the Defenders. That's cool.
Yeah,
74. Yeah, so like 2 years before this. Yeah,
so recurring nemesis for Defenders.
And what was his deal?
Nebulon was a member of the alien Lulians race, a race of 6 tentacled, finned, water-breathing non-humanoids who had begun to deplete the mineral resources of their home world. To remedy the situation, the High Tribunal dispatched an undisclosed number of prospectors to locate and secure worlds with the appropriate mineral resources for the race's survival.
He was a colonizer.
Oh, okay. The best part about this is we get a classic Steve Gerber next little panel at the bottom. Next, the Fawn Unleashed, the little bald man in the meteorite, the menace of the celestial mind control, the bozo syndrome, and more in the weird tale we call Mind is a Terrible Thing to Get Wasted. Also, it says Jack feels Kyle's stomach fall away. Does that mean he pukes? That's funny.
The Fawn Unleashed. I love it so much. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. At some point, we'll have to cover the next issues after these.
Oh yeah.
And do the next 3.
Yeah.
Oh, the cover for the next one's fantastic again.
Oh man, yeah. The covers are great, and the art in all these is great with Sal and Jim Mooney on the inks.
Yeah, Jim Mooney, and sometimes he just does the straight up finishes. You know, there's just like a little sketch by Sal, and he's just like, "Go ahead, Jim." The next issue, by the way, isn't called what they said it was. It's called "I Think We're All Bozos in This Book."
I love it.
And pretty much the same team, except for Irvin Watanabe is the letterist. I love Irving What a Man Watanabe. He's great too.
Well, I mean, that was the whole point of the Defenders book. Like, they never got the proper respect, right? It's just, you know.
Oh yeah. I've got friends. I have a friend who's like a professional comic book, like indie alternative sort of comic artist, but he loves Marvel stuff. And I'm always like, Defenders are amazing. He's like, you're an idiot. Defenders sucked. And I was like, no, they weren't. They were amazing. And he was like, you only like because Steve Gerber wrote it. I was like, no, I even like stuff that Steve Gerber didn't write. I love the Defenders. When I was a kid, like I was saying earlier, I would get all the any random issue I could get for a dime, I would, even though I couldn't make. I think the only complete run I had was like most of the DeMatteis stuff from early on, but I think I had a fair amount of Steve Englehart's ones. I had some Gerbers. Who else was writing on this?
Kraft.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the guy who was on Hulk for Kraft. Yeah, they're good stuff. They're really fun, and they're just like, you know, not a team or whatever they call it, the non-team.
And it's stuff that you couldn't get away with the Avengers, or you couldn't get away with Fantastic Four, or any other team book. Like, it's stuff that you need a team book to tell this story, but it doesn't fit for the other big Marvel teams at all.
Yeah, and they could just have weirder villains and weirder. It was always just stranger, kind of mystical stuff. Not even just because of Doctor Strange. They always just had weird.
And I like that. I liked that you had kind of like the Avengers that handled the typical, you know, supervillain threats, the X-Men, which handled all the mutant threats. You had the Guardians of the Galaxy that handled all the outer space threats,
which Gerber also wrote.
Right. And then you had the Defenders, which handled all the weird, mystical, like magical, demonic type of weird stuff that happened in between all that other stuff.
And like, sort of, Satan becomes a member of the Defenders later, so it's not totally random that he's like in this book. It's just cool to be able to have it also such like a. With the Avengers, when they would switch out members, it almost kind of feel like, really? And you're like, big book, shouldn't this be a, you know, like a pretty solid team? But with Defenders, if somebody was gone, like always, people were like, Doctor Strange left and came back so many times. And so many other people came in, and whoever came in, it was just cool to see, you know, even with a later, like like the new Defenders, which basically were just like X-Men at that point. But it was still like whoever you want to have come in, it's cool. Like, if they're not doing something, can I use them in the Defenders? So thank you.
But I love it, like, at a certain point, even like, I mean, we'll get to this next episode, Justin, but it's like eventually all the original members are gone except for Hulk. So it's like, you know, Nighthawk and Valkyrie, all these like new people, and it's like, and the Hulk is still here.
Right. Yeah. The one that is having the least amount of ability to accept change.
I wonder if it's just his popularity, because I'm like, he was the one who had his own. Well, Doctor Strange had a book too, but Hulk had his own book. It was probably the most well-known and popular book out of all the Defenders. So
later in the 70s, but when they started, like, Doctor Strange was canceled, Hulk was canceled, they were all canceled, you know. Like, there was no Silver Surfer book, you know. Was there a Submariner book at the time?
No.
When Defenders started, so it was just like, let's get all our randos in one book.
Oh yeah, they loved the group of people in the 70s. I mean, if someone comes at you about liking Defenders, be like, well, at least they're not the champions.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, talk about rando. It's like Black Widow, Ghost Rider, Hercules. It's like,
it's like the new Fantastic Four. Like, why are these four randos the Fantastic Four?
It was almost like the people weren't good enough for the Defenders. Yeah, we're gonna be the champions.
I mean, probably. You know, like, that's the most random stuff. I should get some Champions books.
I think the whole series was only like 17, 18 issues. So.
Yeah.
Was that it? Oh,
yeah. So.
I'm surprised they haven't put that in like an epic collection or an omnibus.
I was going to say it would only be one volume because it's only like
they collect it all.
You could probably make your own out of a quarter bin.
Probably for
Yeah.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the underdogs. That's why I'm such a
Yeah,
big
me
fan
too.
of Defenders and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever the weirdest, especially coming from like the 70s Marvel, though. I don't know. It was just a strange time.
It was a strange time, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was so
Yeah.
random. There's so many weird things going on, and
I
that's what I
wonder
loved
if-
about it. It was like there's so much imagination went behind all this stuff.
I know Defenders actually got pretty popular for a while. I wonder if it was ever outselling like Avengers or anything. 70s Avengers was pretty weird and pretty bad. So
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Phil? Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know if they were outsold. I don't know what Avengers was. I mean, again, once like you get George Perez on art and stuff, I'm sure that
Yeah,
the Avengers was pretty popular. But
I think it depended who was on the book at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Who was writing Avengers like in the 70s?
Isn't that Englehart?
For a little while.
It wasn't Englehart. Yeah, it was like when they threw the Beast on there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Englehart was also doing FF, Doctor Strange, Defenders, Captain America, all through
Yeah,
the
he did
70s.
Captain
All through the
America in the
70s.
70s. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I just randomly picked Avengers 151 from 1976. 3 writers on there: Jerry Conway, Jim Shooter, and Steve Englehart.
There
Oh my
you go.
word! Wow.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of
And art by George Perez. So.
Yeah. Well, Perez really didn't get his due in the 70s, even though he was doing amazing stuff in the 70s. It wasn't until the 80s when people were like, this guy's kicking ass.
He exploded. He exploded on the scene. Yeah. I think it was New Teen Titans that kind of blew him up, right?
Oh, I mean, that was one of his moments. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like he was getting some propers before that.
Before that, yeah. But it seemed like after that, it was just kind of everybody kind of started emulating his style and talking about it more. Yeah.
Well, especially too, by that point, he had done the Avengers, then he's on Titan, so it's like all these Marvel and DC fans have had a taste. So it's like, oh yeah, look at this,
It was
and then
Perez,
Crisis.
Yeah, was Perez doing FF in like the late 70s? I feel like, I know he did a run. I have some books, some of those FF collections. There's one.
It's probably late. It was either 70. Yeah, it might have been 70. Let's say 70s or early 80s. Yeah.
But I feel like the Avengers were kind of all over the place. What's that one big story that? I guess it would.
Korvac.
Well, it's Korvac. Yeah,
I love that one.
What's that late 60s story? Neil Adams does a big chunk of it.
Oh, the Kree Skrull War? Or?
Yeah, the Kree Skrull War, which you don't ever see the Kree Skrull War happen.
You only hear about it.
Yeah.
You see a couple spaceships at the end, I think. Yeah.
I think, don't you see, there's just like a reference to the 4 Skrulls that got turned into cows.
Oh, yeah. Because, they even mentioned there was 4 Skrulls, but then at the end of that original Fantastic Four story,
there was only 3
cows. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, but even by that seemed to be kind of like grasping at straws a little bit. I don't know. I guess I think I have an image of what Avengers were in the 70s compared to Defenders. Just seemed, I could just see it for some reason selling better. Maybe, maybe not, but it just, I know for a while it was very popular.
Beast was the connective tissue. He's on Avengers for a while. Then he comes in on Defenders.
Yeah, when they become new Defenders. Yeah.
And I still have a lot of those corner bucks, like portraits, like drilled into my memory.
Oh
all the different ones from that era, like the late 70s, early 80s, like the new Defenders, and
I love those.
I think JMD Mateus tried to wrap up Elf with a Gun in one of those. Was it New Defenders? He came on before it was New Defenders, but
I thought I saw somewhere. Yeah, they was saying he maybe tried to tie it up a little bit. Well, let me open that back up.
I know he was a huge Steve Gerber fan, so I don't think he was trying to like mess with the guy's stuff. No. I thought he believed that he could sort of bring it forward or to a conclusion or whatever. But like I heard an interview once with him just talking about Steve Gerber's in general, but also Steve Gerber's Defenders, because someone was interviewing him about his Defenders. He was like, I was just trying to do my best compared to Steve Gerber. It's like, oh really? Over Engelhart even? That's crazy.
Hey, guys, Dad here. I want to tell you about a little something. You know, like us Pittsburghers always running. Oh yeah, we're running. You know, we're running the kids down a mall. We're running down a store. We're telling the Steelers to run the ball. I want to tell you about another little run that's coming up. It's called the Yinzer 4.12K race.
Yinzer
4.12. That's one of the area kids.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Yinzers.
Howdy, y'all.
Yeah, that came the other day. Russell was saying, I think Phil thinks I'm this, and it was some hillbilly going on a rant.
Oh,
And I said, that's okay. This is Phil, and it was just a bunch of Pittsburgh Yinzers talking about.
I spent too much money on tobacco and Mountain Dew.
Ian's got any tobacco and Mountain Dew.
Oh,
I'd let Burt Reynolds my ass. I licked around the rim of Easter.
That one I have heard.
Nom 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 nom.
No, it's saying like supposedly the elf was eventually they brought in the nephew Ralph.
Yeah,
Ralph.
Carry on his mission. Yeah. But yeah, supposedly they try to tie it up as saying that the elves were agents of the alien tribunals and that Melf's murders were part of an elaborate scheme to restore the cosmic balance and stop the universal catastrophe.
Of course.
By killing random
Well, it was eventually revealed to be a hoax.
I love it.
So, yeah, I don't know if that was DeMatteis or not, but he tried. But they tried.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was.
That.
Me too. Well, overall, I think these are 3 great issues.
They are. And one last comment about issue number 33.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite panel out of all 3 of these issues is the one in this issue with the deer, the fawn going down the staircase. With each deliberate yet tenuous step down the staircase of the mystic master's sanctum sanctorum, the fawn's fury increases. He can only speculate on what next occurred. And just the look on the fawn's face, he looks so pissed. He looks so mad.
He's so much more menacing than Chandru is himself.
I know. I just love that panel so much. That is my absolute favorite out of all 3 of these issues.
Just watching Sal Buscema draw ridiculous stuff is so, because like this comic looks great. Like all the superhero stuff, or even the Headmen who are bizarre.
Yeah,
great. But yeah, just the weirdest stuff. I just Gerber got really lucky getting really good artists on a lot of his books.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he had some good collaborators to work with.
Oh yeah. I mean, you put out a crazy ideas. You better have a good artist. Illustrating them.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall listening to him and the artist talking about some of the stuff.
Look at this, and the mystic gets stuck in this baby deer.
Yeah, and then the deer stomps down the staircase and have him look really mad.
He says, "I can't be restrained," and then an alien the alien lizard grabs him.
An alien grabs him off the street.
They departed then, just as Chandu's mind returned to a waking state and became aware of his bizarre predicament. That little panel, that little deer looks so pissed off. It's one mad deer.
That's one mad deer. Oh yeah, I love this story so much. Yeah, I definitely when Phil suggested that we do a month of Defenders, this was one of the first ones that came to my mind was the Headmen story.
It'd be the first one. You were like, "Yo, no, we got to do the Headmen story." Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange transferring everyone's consciousness. Like Chondu goes in from Nighthawk into the baby deer. Jack Norris goes from his body to Nighthawk, and his body's now just unoccupied.
Unoccupied.
Yeah, it's just sitting there,
slumped over.
Weekend at Bernie's. What if they would have put the Hulk's mind in Nighthawk's body? That would have been funny.
That would have been interesting.
He just shows up.
If Doctor Strange really wanted to avoid some damage, he should have done that.
Yeah, true.
That'd been funny. Why can't Hulk smash this thing?
Why can't Hulk smash anything?
Well, imagine the series of panels of Hulk's brain in Bambi's body. Now that's one mad deer.
Bambi smash.
It's repeatedly like headbutting the door so you can knock it down.
Or just Banner wakes up and goes, Hulk, what did you do? Or
what did you do this time? Yeah.
I don't think we ever see Banner in the Defenders comics.
I was trying to remember when he appears in the Defenders at all.
Because I was like, didn't they knock Hulk out and then he reverted the Banner? Although, I mean, have been stories where, in the Hulk book where he's staying the Hulk. But
yeah, I just remember reading something too, that there was like whoever was writing Hulk at this time, because Hulk got his book back in like 70, around this time, right?
I think so. Yeah,
somewhere around there. Because I know we've talked about it on in Gamma Charge, some 70s Hulk stuff.
Yeah,
that seemed to be like mid 70s. Was it Kraft writing it?
It might have been. I'm gonna look it up actually.
What is that Hulk? What was that Hulk 102?
Something. I don't know the numbers.
Hulk 102 was April 1968, so it was a bit before this.
So it would be later. I wonder who was writing. Whoever was writing Hulk around this time was having a fight with Steve Gerber about the way Steve Gerber was having Hulk be in the Defenders book, because he was
his portrayal of the Hulk.
Yeah, his portrayal of the Hulk was so goofy, and he was never Banner, and it wasn't the same in the ongoing at the same time. So they were having a real fight about it. And Gerber was like, "Who cares? If they're different books, it doesn't matter. I want to be able to write Hulk the way I want to."
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why it's part of the reason why he left Defenders.
Looks like might have been Len Wein.
Okay, it looks like it.
That sounds right.
75.
Also drawn by Sal Buscema.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Buscema looks like he's having fun with this Hulk. There's just some goofy panels of him smiling in these when he first picks up Bambi. He's just like,
he's the happiest you've ever seen the Hulk.
Oh yes, it may have been written and edited by Len Wein.
Oh wow, yeah.
At the same time. I'd say that's always a far out time when the same guy's writing editing
and editing it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it happened a lot. Gerber edited Howard the Duck.
Oh yeah, I mean Stan Lee set that tradition.
Yeah,
exactly. I think some of the people didn't want to do it because it was just like, I gotta edit my own book.
Yeah,
it's so much more work. But it's probably another paycheck on top of it.
A few
more digits.
Absolutely.
Well, you'd hope, but you never put it past.
Or Marvel was just like, oh yeah, you want to edit yourself? Yeah, okay, we don't have to pay an editor. Oh yeah, knock yourself out, kid.
Yeah, exactly. Here's an extra stamp a month.
Marvel collector stamp.
You get an extra thumbs up from Stan Lee this month from Smiling Stan.
Oh, you want a bonus? Here's a no prize. With a side copy of this month's Spider-Man, here you go, kid.
The Marvel editor that collects Spider-Man.
All right. So, any other thoughts? Knol, Mr. Steve Gerber, #1 fan. Any other thoughts?
I think it's great. I wonder if Steve Gerber tried to sue Marvel to get the rights back to Elf with a Gun.
Well, That's a good question.
Oh, I want Howard and I want Melf.
I wonder if he ever left any notes about Melf. Anyway.
Obviously not. If they didn't pick it, they.
No, he literally said like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the dumb thing.
I want the rights back. I want the rights back in time for Christmas.
That's right.
I'm gonna custom make myself an Elf with a Gun T-shirt. I think.
Elf on the shelf. Elf with a gun.
Yeah, Elf with a gun murdering Elf on a shelf.
Oh God!
You're welcome, Lilith.
I think we know we're gonna. I think we got a sneak preview of Knol's Facebook page coming up here soon.
Yeah, I can see it happening now.
Yep,
I love it.
No, I don't have any other. I just think it's great. Love
Justin?
Defenders.
Yeah, I love this too. Yeah, and I knew that Knol would have a fun time joining us for this too, just because I knew he's a fan of Steve Gerber and Defenders and the Headmen as well.
Big time. They're called the Headmen. What a stupid and obvious name. It's so great.
That's so ridiculous. It's such a ridiculous crew of villains.
That just hit me. I never thought about that before.
They have weird heads. Come on.
That's so dumb.
The Headmen.
Well, I feel like we talked about the elf more than we talked about the Headmen.
Maybe a little bit.
And that elf appeared on what, 1-2 pages?
Yeah.
One page.
Such a memorable cameo, though.
2 panels.
And again, just in the one issue, but then the next 2 issues, nothing.
Yeah.
No, it's like every 4 issues or so.
When he needed to fill up a page.
Just when he was
subplot.
He was bored writing it.
Yeah.
All right. Just trying to keep Sal awake. All right. Thank you for joining us, Knol, you son of a bitch. I hope I find some embarrassing drops. All right, pulling up schedule here. All right, so for the rest of Defenduary, yes, next episode we'll be talking Defender 62 through 64, Defender for a Day.
Another fun one.
Yes, and then the week after that we'll cover. We're going to jump to J.M. DeMatteis and his crossover between the 2 books he was writing at the time, Captain America 268 and Defenders 106.
Which I don't think I've read this crossover, so I think this is going to be a first time read for me. I'm excited for that.
Read it.
Yeah,
cool.
I couldn't remember it when you selected it. I checked it out, and I couldn't remember this one.
And then we'll close out the month with Defenders 112 through 114, a new Defenders arc. So we're trying to sample all the eras here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right, so yes, again, send
Headmen.
All right, kids, send us your thoughts.
That's all of your college girlfriends.
Oh. All right, kids, send us your thoughts, send us feedback. You may win a prize. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics.
Hey, baby.
Episodes, social media, merchandise, and of course, please subscribe to the Patreon. It's a
yes,
weird, wacky.
Join me in the Patreon elite.
Yes. It's a multiverse, and the one constant is an angry little hellfire. So
that's every single verse. Yeah,
I said sometimes he's drunk, sometimes he's high, but always angry. All right, so find everything at tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right, as always, Knol, let's do your drops first because Justin has 20 of them. All right, Knol, where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. You can find me on Gamma Charge, the Hawk podcast. You can find me at nothing. I'm not doing anything. You can find me next time
Trapped in the
this
World
podcast.
Trapped in the World.
You can look up some back issues of Trapped in the World, the Howard the Howard the Duck podcast.
This is what
ex-friend Carl used to say.
How many episodes of Trapped in the World did you guys do before you went on your hiatus? It was like 20, right?
It was like 40, I think.
Oh yeah, you guys.
I was just listening to some of the Patreon ones that we put up on the regular old site when I was on the first part of my paternity break. Yeah, I think there's like 40 of them, maybe.
Nice, yeah,
including some record clubs and some
yeah,
which we're coming back to do a record club on Russ's birthday, which the date I'm forgetting.
That's right. It's the end of the December. It's in, I think it's the 27th.
After the holidays, yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, Russell, and I will be on the I don't know, Gamma Charge or Tom's
it's
Evil
going to be
feed.
the Gamma Charge. I think the Patreon thing. I think we're doing this a Patreon episode. I think.
All right.
Yeah.
And the three of us are going to talk about records like we have before, but this time I think we're just doing Russ's records, and he's doing a really awful Megadeth record and a really awful some other stupid band. Whatever they are, they're totally awful, and I'm going to hate them. So that should be fun.
It's not just for dummies.
It's not just for dummies. No, just
Moody looks good all the time.
Yeah. You ever notice that Phil mouths along with the drops when he does them? It's like a little kid lip syncing. He's got
to get touched by a white man with cornrows.
He's trying not to do it right there. You can see his lips moving.
I dare you to go back to any video and say,
you dare me?
I'm just like,
you know, I will.
Oh, he's gonna find it now.
Oh yeah,
I'll find him.
Guilty or innocent.
All right.
But then you can just find me, around on the internet. That's it.
On those porn sites. All right, Justin, the new king of podcasting since Ray's become addicted to the Marvel Snap. All right. You can find him here every week on Marvel Tales. You can hear him once a month on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast, talking with Jean-Paul Valley. And Russ is going to be joining us for the Azrael ongoing series starting here.
Excited about that.
And of course, you can hear him twice a month on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast with me and Tyler. And Energon Universe once a month.
Energon Universe, Transformer time.
That's right.
When's the next one of those drop? I've been enjoying those.
Well, recording the next one here. Like in a week, so
yeah, next week.
Next weekend, so
soon. Yeah, out around the same time this one is.
No, it'll come out before this one. So
before. Oh, yeah.
So if it's up, so go check it out.
If you're hearing this, it's up.
And again, we got most of those new Russell drops came from that episode. So
okay. Yes,
Whoosh is a squishy.
All right, and of course. But that's not all. Justin, where else can people find you? I mean, we already mentioned Gamma Charge, but all right.
Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, edited by Mr. Knol down there.
Mm-hmm.
We do 2 episodes a month and a live one.
Funnier than they are.
That's right. Making us sound wonderful. And we do a live episode where we review the new Hulk and She-Hulk comic books every month. We also have a Patreon to check us out on that. And we also are joined by Ray and Sparky over on Predator and Prey, the Yucha podcast, where we talk about Fox's Predator in comic books, action figures, movies, and more. Russell and I are also doing Gone the Form of Man, the Etrigan podcast, where we talk about DC's Demon and Jack Kirby's lovely Wacky Wild series from 1974. And last but not least, the Lost Library of Legends is still going on. And I actually have a new episode coming out this month about a 4-issue miniseries that Marvel did back in 1990 called Brute Force. And all I'll say about that is lions and cyborgs and bears. Oh my.
There's been some great episodes of the Lost Library so far.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
very much. Thank you very much.
I hope so. He's been banking them for 2 years.
I only had to wait 2 years to get them out. So
yeah, it took him 2 years to get all the background noise out of the mic.
That too.
It's so salty.
Seemed kind of like a non sequitur, but whatever.
Giant sized man thing.
He's just throwing them up. Come on.
That escalated.
Tap it downtown.
Thank you for joining us. So, well, I wish I could say it was pleasurable, but
Mhm.
all right. I'll back next episode.
It was all worth it to see my reflection in your forehead.
You talk like you with small forehead. I can't be nice. I'm punk. Looks like you're sitting in your prison cell. Look at that wall.
Where's the art? Here it is.